Welcome back to the week, ladies and gentlemen. As this week is dedicated to public safety, I am now being joined by Corporal Wesley Ingle from LaGrange Police Department. Wesley, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
Well, I just had on one of your compadres. I had on Jim. He talked about the new courtesy, the car care program that you guys are implementing. And before we get into your what you're here to talk about, tell us a little bit about your role, if you don't mind.
I work in the traffic division. I'm the field training officer in the traffic division. I work for Lieutenant Costello. We got two other traffic officers. We've actually had to extend another opening due to the fact that the wrecks have increased in LaGrange. We're up to almost 2,500 wrecks a year. Mm-hmm. Last year we was close to 2,500 in a year. 2,500
wrecks in our small town. And of course, we all see that traffic has grown here in our area.
Yes.
And again, you've been on with me a couple of times, and we talked about what are perhaps the leading cause. Again, just kind of refresh our viewing audience. What are some of the leading causes?
Well, a lot of it is speed, because somebody's following somebody too close.
Okay.
Or trying to run through that, thinking the yellow light, which yellow means prepare to stop, your green movement's been terminated, or they'll go drive in the middle of an intersection and they're stuck out there. Yeah. And then the light turns yellow, then it turns red, and then they're making a left on oncoming traffic, which, and if there are other parties not paying attention to them and sees the green, they're going to go ahead and take off, and they're going to be at fault. And it's all because people are running late or distracted. And I know she said Officer Davidson was on about talking about the coupons we have. I've actually encountered several citizens where, when you're driving down the road, you think everything's fine, and your brake lights are out, and that has caused wrecks before where the brake lights were out. They didn't have one operational, so they had started that care program. I've actually given several coupons out myself, and the people were like, "Hey, I don't know what all they can get there at the auto parts store, but I gave them the coupon and say, hey, get it taken care of." And hopefully that will, because that does create a little problem. Like, especially if somebody's pulling a trailer, and you hook it up, and you don't know there's no brake lights working.
That's right.
And your car, your headlights out. When you run through the city, you got the street lights at night, so you wouldn't know your headlights out as well because you got the street lit. But then you would put it on normal light, you probably wouldn't know if it's a low beam due to the fact you probably got your high beam in rural areas because there are no street lights trying to watch for deer and everything. So that's the program we started, and I'm hoping that helps reduce some of the wrecks. And we're trying to do as much as we can to reduce the wrecks because, even though, you're not in a wreck today, or I'm not in a wreck today, or somebody else tomorrow or something, it affects everybody because of insurance rates. A lot of people probably have noticed that their insurance rates has increased, and that's due to the fact the claims that they've had in Georgia is considered, what I tell a lot of people, it's a high-risk state because of the volume of wrecks that we've had just in this small town. Could you imagine your bigger cities like Athens and Atlanta and everything? And nowadays, the body shops are so backed up, it's kind of like going to the doctors. You got to make an appointment to get your car fixed. Then if your car ain't drivable, you got to get a rental car. And then you got some people that ain't doing the right thing, that don't have no insurance. And then you're having to use your uninsured motorist, and hopefully everybody has that, because you never know when that comes across.
That's right.
And we also like the coupon with defective parts. Like, we've worked some wrecks where the brakes have went out on cars and stuff like that. So, the equipment does play a role into it. So we're trying to do as much as we can to get people, hey, slow down and pay attention, But in July 1st, the distracted driving with the cell phones coming in. Everybody's talking about that.
Talk a little bit about, because, you're talking to all that, very good. You're talking about the distracted driving. I think this is probably right up there with, leading cause, trying to talk on a cell phone or texting and various things of that nature. And on July 1, the new law came out, the new hands-free law. Talk about who's that going to impact, first of all.
School bus drivers are prohibited from being on the phone. And actually, I'm sure we'll write warnings, I don't know how long, but actually the law this year, when it comes out July 1st, you can actually receive a citation. There is it's up to the agency whether they want to give you a grace period. Usually, when they pass a new law or something to that effect, they usually give like a 30-day or 30-day grace period. People get used to the new law. But this law goes into effect now. It's going to depend on different agencies if they want to force it July 1st or give warnings for a week or 2 weeks or something to that effect. So you need to be careful, because you don't know what the agency that's stopping you is. Like Georgia State Patrol, they might not have a grace period. It might be as of day one they start enforcing it because of cell phone problems we've had. it's always been where if you're under 18 years old, they can't be on the phone.
Okay.
And due to the fact that, you know, you remember, I remember back when I went from a regular, when you got your learners, you got your driver license.
That's right.
All these kids were getting in the cars and getting killed. And they went to a provisional license, and that affects them. You know, in a provisional license, if you get any violation more than 4 points, you lose your license in 6 months.
That's right. Talk a little bit about, because under 18 they can't be on the phones. They can't be
At all.
Texting at all. Talk about the don'ts as far as this new law is concerned.
Well, you can't text, Snapchat, get on the internet, none of that.
Okay.
And that's been in law, but they've actually enforced it now. And your body cannot support the cell phone.
Okay.
You know, like if you're holding up, say, text so-and-so, or hey, if you're on speakerphone, you're holding your phone. A lot of your newer cars are going to the Bluetooth, so that people can use your Bluetooth. But even then, it is somewhat of a distraction,
right?
Because you're consumed in the phone conversation, and you're missing your turn or something to that effect.
So no more of this shoulder to ear.
No more of that.
No more of the, okay.
And you get your Bluetooth.
Okay.
You want to use that. Now you can actually go to Walmart. I'm sure one of your places, somebody was telling me that they got a Bluetooth you can actually attach to your phone that you can mount on your car.
That's right.
Now, I don't know the price of that, but they're imagine they're probably going to be putting them out a lot due to the fact the new law did come in effect, and it can't be stored on your body. So it doesn't matter if you're stopped at a red light or anything like that, or a stop sign, you still can't text. You see people do that. I think one day I was at a red light and a young lady was up there texting on top of her phone, and I was going to a call. I hit my horn a couple times to try to get her stopped. She continued, so I stopped and wrote her a ticket.
Oh, okay.
And she said I was texting my mother.
But again, like
then
you
again,
say,
it's against the law. I mean, I tried to get her, discourage her with the warning by saying, hit my horn, hey, you don't need to do that. And she totally ignored me. So I went, and you know, writing citations is all about education. So I said, well, if the warning is not going to suffice, then I need to write a ticket. Now your fines is what's going to affect you. Your first offense is only $50, but it's going to be a point on your driver record.
Okay.
Then your second offense is going to go up to 100, and it's going to be 2 points on your driving record.
Whoa.
The third offense is $150 and 3 points on your driving record. Now, you got to look at the big picture. I mean, the fines are not real high, kind of like a seatbelt.
Right.
But how's that going to affect your car insurance?
That's right.
Because a lot of these insurance companies, you know, they randomly run your license and you got these points. And I imagine that being such a distracted driving law, I imagine it's going to raise your rates on your insurance.
Absolutely. So it's worth you financially and also safety to not do it. I mean, even though we've had these laws on the books over the years, but now we're really kind of going into more of an enforcement mode at this point. Okay.
Well, because of the wrecks, I mean, people are so distracted in the cell phones, and if you just sit, not only me, I mean, when I'm on personal vehicle, I sit and watch other people driving because I'm so used to doing it at work.
That's right.
And you can actually see why people are so consumed with their cell phone. I mean, even go to your local grocery store. There's a steady run to order through there, or any business, and a lot of your businesses, hey, if you want to make an order, get off. Don't be on your cell phone because they're on their cell phone trying to make an order. It's what holding the line up, holding other people up, and it's kind of rude.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
And people have come so consumed that they stay on that phone all the time.
You know, I was at a class. Not because I was at a class this past week, and we had a journalist that was there, and she was giving she was our keynote speaker, and she was saying that the cell phone can never replace our vocal.
Right.
Because we now text conversations,
right,
as opposed to you and I sitting down and having that face-to-face conversation, which kind of erodes the communicative skills.
Yeah, interpersonal communication skills.
That's right.
And a lot of your younger generation, millenniums, they have a problem with that, and that's because they do everything so much on a text, which a text is great if you're in a meeting and say your child's getting home and you say, hey, shoot me a text. I'm going to be in this meeting today. I can't answer the phone, but I want to make sure you got home, you're safe from school. When they get in the house, they shoot you a text. And it's great for but some people actually consume everyday conversation all the time that they text. And,
That's right.
and they're losing the part of communicating with people and you know, the humanity of it, you know, because you're not actually having a conversation with a human, you're actually having with the phone. I mean, you'll see kids, they'll be across the table texting each other.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of having a conversation, you're like, what?
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, technology has wonderful things. I mean, you know, like if you don't know somebody who spells it, you say, hey, Google, and, you know, kind of pull it up. So, it does have its wonderful advantages, but we don't need to be so consumed that when we're driving, we're so consumed in that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Several years ago, I'd actually worked a wreck where the guy pulled out in front of a lady and it flipped the lady's SUV. And he wasn't on a cell phone, but he was listening to a tape recording of some bad news his father had health conditions.
Mm-hmm.
He was so consumed in that taping that he was listening to, he actually pulled out in front of her and caused a wreck. So that goes back to the distracted driving law.
Absolutely. Let me ask you, that you just brought up another good point. Sometimes, and as we get ready to close out, sometimes people have a playlist on their phone. How can they still listen to their playlist on the phone, and how do they activate that?
They can, if you got Bluetooth in your car, it should be able to pick it up that way. If most phones now have the Bluetooth capability, so they can still have all the cords and stuff. They can actually attach it to the radio. But before you start your travel, before you put it, take it out apart. Hit your playlist, because it's your playlist. More likely, it's probably one of your favorite music, or ones you want to listen to. Or then again, with this new law coming out, you might want to make a new playlist of ones that you definitely want to hear every day going to work, or if a motivational book or something, turn it on before you start driving. But if people really stop, be honest with themselves, even listen to the music, sometimes it can distract you. Because I have been on my phone and was talking to somebody. I missed my turn. I said, man, let me get off. He called me real quick. I said, yeah. I said, man, I missed my turn. Let me get off this phone. And it was illegal. Yeah. But I was like, I realized then real quickly that this can be distracted, because you're in the conversation and you're watching where you're going, but you're not got your mind on driving. So so it's been distracted driving has been a law before, but they actually enhance a little bit more. And it's really going to be a crackdown on these cell phones, because if you look, a lot of your major wrecks, most of them are distracted, like following too closely. Besides being in a hurry, they're distracted, they're in a hurry. I've had people where they drop their phones, reach down, and bam, hit the car in front of it.
And it only takes that
long. The car in front of you stops because somebody in front of them stopped. Or, they might be stopping for something running out in front of them, or something in the road that you're not aware of. And then, if you stop and look at it, now your car's tore up. That's going to cost you money. Then your insurance is going to go up. That's going to cost you more money. And in the long run, you could probably just put that phone down and wait.
You're right. Our time gets away from us, and I want our viewing audience to know that Corporal Ingle is there at the police department here. Definitely, if you have any question about the new law that's taking effect, give him a call. Quickly, give them your number if you don't mind. You
can call the LaGrange Police Department, or you can call my cell phone. I mean, not my cell phone, but my work phone on my desk. It's 706-883-2691. Or anybody in the traffic division can help you with that as far as the new laws and everything. I encourage people to get that, because we want the people and the citizens that's come through drive safely. We had that Great Wolf just open up, so a lot more traffic's coming in. People that's not familiar with the area might be lost and be slowing down.
All right. Well, very good. I want to thank you very much for being on the show today.
Glad to be here.
All right.